for my pension. These are the reasonable words of John Benson, who's sitting behind me in the public gallery. All he wants is what he paid for. For that, he has become a tireless campaigner for nearly a quarter of a century to try and right this miscarriage of justice against himself and against many other working class families. John Benson, Phil Jones and others behind us should be enjoying the retirement, spending time with loved ones and resting after a lifetime of hard and dangerous work. Yet, the last 23 years has meant financial hardship, taking on seasonal work long after retirement age and a never-ending fight for what they are owed. They have visited many colleagues on their deathbeds, colleagues who have begged them to keep on the fight, colleagues who didn't know whether their loved ones would be able to pay for their funeral or stay in the family home. They have been ignored and insulted by countless governments of various political colour, Labour, Tory and Lib Dems. Told off by politicians for the tone of their emails, told off by people who have no idea of the hardship they have lived, and I'm sure wouldn't be able to cope themselves if their pension was taken away. Since the campaign started, 14 different UK pension ministers have been appointed, with none of them able or maybe even willing to help repay what these workers and their families rightly deserve. The closest they came was in 2005, when the financial assistance scheme was established by the then UK government to help those who have been affected by pension failures between 1997 and 2005. But the scandal is that only covered 90% of the pension value. It didn't account for inflation at all, or any pension occurred before 1997. For many pensioners, like Phil Jones behind me, that 90% figure has now dropped to 50%, half its value. It's absolutely unbelievable. The injustice is obvious. Everybody I talk to about this clearly sees the injustice, but it remains. Maybe the same should be applied to UK ministers. Maybe that should happen to their pension, because I'm confident we will see legislation passed in Westminster very quickly if that happened to their pensions. Of the 140,000 pensioners within the scheme, over 40,000 have already passed away. 40,000, with many of them not seeing a single penny of the pensions they trustingly paid, and even worse, were encouraged to pay into. My late father was fully supportive of the ASW workers. He knew many of them. He went to school with them. He played with them. Unfortunately, the miscarriage of justice has outlasted him, and it has outlasted his friends at the ASW. It's simply not good enough that this has gone on for a quarter of a century. It's not fair that due to the passage of time that the campaigning now falls on the shoulders of fewer and fewer people because of death and illness. But John, Phil and the rest of the campaigners have never given up. In January this year, I joined them for a meeting in London with the newest pension minister, Torsten Bell. And with Torsten Bell, we had very warm words from him. We had plenty of smiles. We had some condescending comments. And then nothing. Nothing at all. They are still waiting for the injustice to be righted. My office has started a petition calling on the UK government to take action and to pay these men what they are rightly owed. Every member have been sent that petition a few weeks ago, but perhaps I can resend it again after this debate. And I urge you all to sign it and share it on your social media. And I'm grateful for Mark Ishwood and Natasha Ashcroft for already sharing it on their social media. Whatever is said here today, and whatever the action the UK government may or may not decide to take, one thing is undeniable. John, Phil, and all the others behind me today are not going away. They will not stop fighting for the pensions that they deserve. And it's up to us here today to stand beside them and to amplify their voice. Diolch yn fawr.